Hello, and welcome to Piano Player Pro, your favourite classical tunes arranged for piano. Today, we're going to be playing the main theme from Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky. The ballet was first performed in Moscow in 1877, when it was widely thought to be an utter failure. The critics hated it. The dancing, the set, the costume, and most of all Tchaikovsky's music, which was roundly dismissed and described by one as being too noisy. Fortunately for us, it was revived, but sadly only after Tchaikovsky's death. If you haven't already, then follow the link below and head over to the website pianoplayerpro.com, where you can find the sheet music, which is free to download. And while you're there, make sure you check out what other pieces you can learn. I'm regularly adding new pieces and content, so if you find this video helpful, then please hit the subscribe button below. In total, there are 4 piano arrangements of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake for you to choose from, starting with level 1 and then getting progressively more difficult all the way up to level 4. This video is for the level 2 version, but feel free to take a look at the others. So we're going to get started by me playing through the whole piece from beginning to end. Just before I do that, I just want to point out the C section, which is the third line down. You'll notice you play that line twice, and you've got a first time bar and a second time bar. What that means is you play the first 3 bars of the C section, bars 9, bars 10, bars 11, and then you choose the first option, which is bar 12 at the end of the line. You go back to the beginning of the line, play it all again, 9, 10, 11, and the second time through you skip down to bar 13 and play the second time option, and then play all the way through to the end. So I'll play it through for you now and you can follow the music, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you play the C section when we break it down line by line. So, get my hands in position. The right hand starts quite high up. Here's middle C, here's high C, and it's 2 notes higher than that with the little finger. And then the left hand is starting on A, but I'm going to start on my 4th finger because again that's going to go quite high. So it's going to go up to these notes. So that's why I'm going to start using the 4th finger. So Swan Lake for both hands, here it goes. Okay, so that's how it all sounds together. We're going to break it down section by section, line by line, starting with the A section, and I'm going to look at the right hand first, and then we'll add the left hand in a minute. So that, as I said at the beginning, it starts quite high up with your finger on the high E, the little finger on the high E, and then the other 5 fingers, or the other 4 fingers rather, should there be next to each other. So you're starting with your thumb hovering over the A, going A, B, C, D, E, and you play the minim first on high E, and then you go back to the thumb and you run all the way up, back to the E. So you've got that pattern starting on E, running down from the thumb, back up again. Then you're going to rock between the E and the C. So you go E, C, E, C, that's bar 2. And then bar 3 is again the notes E and C, but these are slower, these are minim, so you hold them each for 2 beats. So 1, 2, C for 2, and then resting on A for 2. So let me play that all through again. That's kind of section A. I know you've got 3 notes at the end, the D, the C and the B. I'll talk about those in a minute. But just from the beginning of the line, this is how it goes. So it's E, then E, then C, E for 2, C for 2, A for 2. The next 3 notes really, even though they're written at the top of this line, they're kind of connected to section B because they link into the next part of the tune. So the B tune is exactly the same as the A tune, starting on E, running up the scale, rocking between E and C, and then E and C again, but slowly for 2 and resting for A, this time for 4 beats, a full 4 beats of the semi-breve. So the only difference between the two lines is actually those 3 notes at the end of the first line. So I want you to think about those 3 notes rather than being the end of the first line leading into the second line. So let me show you what I mean from the very beginning, from A, running up, E and C, E for 2, C for 2, A for 2, then leading on, D, C, B, and it leads into the next part of the tune. And then this time, like I said, resting for 4 beats on the A. So that's how the right hand part goes for lines 1 and 2, or sections A and B. The left hand part mostly plays just the note A. I'm going to start on the 4th finger there, okay, and you hold it for 4 beats to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it plays minims. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then another 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, D, and it moves up to D using the thumb at the same point as the right hand comes back down to the thumb. So when you put them together, you finish that line effectively with both those thumbs on the kind of notes D and A, and you finish that phrase like that, except for the last 3 notes at the end of the line. So the second line, the B section, very similar, starts on A for 4 beats, then 2 minims, and then it finishes with this pattern stretching up to E for 2, C for 2, and then A for 4. And you may have noticed that actually it does exactly the same in those last 2 bars as the right hand, which is also doing E for 2, C for 2, A for 4. So you can hopefully get those parts, coordinate those parts together, recognising they're doing the same thing, the same tune, just 1 octave apart. So let's put the 2 parts together. Make sure you get the right fingers in the right place. So a 4 on the A there, a 5 on the E there, and then watch how it goes. So you start together, then carry on with the scale. As you're carrying on with that scale, keep holding this note, don't let go. Try and keep it held down. And then you emphasise the E. So basically every time you play that E, you're also playing the note in the left hand. That's the way to think about it. So together, repeat, repeat, repeat. And then as I said before, the line ends with the 2 hands moving onto the thumb, the A and the D. And then you've just got to do this little link while you're still holding your thumb down and launch back to the 2 notes. And it's more difficult now to get this smooth because you're not just thinking about this, you're also thinking about this moving back to the A. But what you're aiming to do is to get it to sound like this. This is bar 4, 2, rest, smoothly running through. And then the pattern is the same in both hands to finish the line. So the key to that part is really thinking about these 2 notes, the A and the E, being kind of paired together. Practicing that link. These notes are paired again. Except for when you get to the last 2 bars, when they go down like that. Okay, so that's sections A and B. Let's look at the C section. I'll again just explain how it kind of works in terms of the geography. So you play the whole line through, bar 9, bar 10, bar 11, bar 12, then you repeat the section, but this time when you play bar 9, bars 10, bar 11, you miss out bar 12, that was like the first time option. You go to the second time option, or what's called the second time bar, and you play bars 13 and 14. So the first time round you choose the first option, the second time round you choose the second option, but bars 9, 10 and 11 you play the same both times. So let's look at the tune to start with. I'm going to ignore the second option for the moment, so I'm just going to play the 3rd line down, which is bars 9, 10, 11 and 12. So I've just finished with my thumb on the A, and now I'm going to move my whole hand up so my thumb is now on the B. And effectively this tune, what it does is it just goes straight up the scale on the white notes. You start on B and you go up. So some of the notes you play twice, and obviously we need to change the rhythm because that doesn't quite sound like the tune yet, but the idea is you just go straight up the scale using the white notes. So it starts with 3 crotchets, just using 1, 2 and 3. And then this is the trick, you've got to put the thumb under to play the next 3 notes, which are quicker because they're quavers. So listen to those 6 notes together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what you're aiming to do is, as you move that thumb under, is to get it sounding as smooth as possible. So not hearing the kind of clunk as you put the thumb down again. You don't want to hear that, you want it to sound nice and smooth. When you get to the G, things get a good deal easier. So you play the G twice, each of them's a slow note, a minim. G for 2, again, then A for 2, and then you go B for 2, E for 2, and your thumb should be kind of already hovering over the E because you've got your little finger on the B for 2. So listen to that whole line again without pauses. Then you repeat it again, and this is where you're going to do the jump. So you're going to go back to where you were, the thumb on the B, G for 2, and then B flat with your middle finger, and B with your 4th finger. So what I did there, and this is something you can try out, is on the G, where you've got the 2 slow Gs, I did a finger switch. So I did the thumb going under, and then I'm going to move the 2nd G, rather than playing it with that finger again, I'm going to move my thumb onto that G. So G for 2, G for 2, but this time with the thumb. Now I didn't do that the first time because I only had to go, but the second time I'm doing that so I can play the B flat as well. So it's G for 2, A for 2, then down to bar 13, B flat for 2, B for 2. Okay, so just let me show you the second time option again. So going back to C, but this is for the second time round. Switch to the thumb, A for 2, B flat for 2, and B for 2. And that's how the C section goes. Okay. Finally then, you go back to D. Now, when you get to D and E, they're actually the same in terms of the notes as the A section and the B section. In the original, if you listen to it by this point, you've got the full orchestra playing. It starts with just the oboe, so it's much quieter, but by this point it's much louder, so you can add those dynamics in and play it fortissimo. You've just finished in this kind of position, B, B. You're going to come down to the E, but don't use your thumb, because you're then going to have to go down again. So I suggest at this point, you move your little finger onto the E, so it's quite a big move with your hand, and play what you played before. Okay, before we go on to the end, we're going to just check the left-hand part for the C section. So you've just finished the B section like this, E for 2, C for 2, A for 2. Your next note is G, and you're going to play it with your thumb. So again, you've got a big move down to get to the right position. Okay, so you're going to just take a quick move down there, and you're going to go G for 4, E for 4, D for 4, then E for 4. Okay, so that's the first option, and then like the right hand, you've got to then do the second option as well, which is G for 4, E for 4, D for 4, then skip to bar 13 where you play D for 4 again before going to E. Okay, so in terms of the left hand, the two options are very similar. The only difference is that you play the D twice in the left hand part before moving to E the second time round. So the challenge then is going to be putting these two lines together, and these are definitely the most, or this section is definitely the most difficult section of the piece. So you're starting with thumbs, so you find those positions first because you've been here before. So this moves up one note, this moves down a lot of notes, and you're going to go like this. Back to where you were. Finger switch in the right hand. Jump to the second option. And that's the C section done. Okay? After you've done that, as I was saying, you're going to go back to where you started from. So this hand needs to move all the way from up here to down here. And this hand is moving to A, but again, you want to start it where you started before, which was your fourth finger. So you've finished here, and you've got to move here. So going on nice and loud. But the notes are exactly the same as the first time round when you played A and B. So you may make the character slightly different, you may make it more dramatic the second time round, but the notes are essentially the same. So let me just play it through for you once more from the beginning, including that kind of tricky section where you get to see and you play it twice. So find the right positions. Here we go from the start, starting nice and quietly, and then it's going to build through the piece. Off we go. So that was the level 2 version of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you have, then please hit the subscribe button below, as there's new pieces for you to learn coming out all the time. And remember, the music for all of them is free to download from the website pianoplayerpro.com. If you've got any questions or requests for future pieces, then please do get in touch via the comment section. Have a great day then, and happy practicing.